What is happening, Magnusites? I am ecstatic to hear this. Let's see what this is all about. Truthfully, I would prefer a whole Hulk versus Wolverine movie like we got with the animated one, which is like one of my favorite animated movies of all time that has to do anything with superheroes. I love that movie. I love it. So let's see exactly what is happening. Let's get it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. In a big turn of events, we have a very exciting report about Deadpool and Wolverine. It looks like the Hulk might indeed be in the movie. In fact, just like we have been thinking, he might actually be in that scene with Sabretooth that they recently showed us in the old Hulk's trailer. There's a very interesting part about this trailer. And yes, it is that there seems to be a cameo in the background. Like, we can tell that there's somebody caged up that they haven't fully shown us. But two, things just kind of seem off about what Deadpool is saying to Wolverine. Like, for example, people found it rather odd that Deadpool is saying that people have been waiting decades to see this fight, talking about Sabretooth and Wolverine. And some fans have just thought, have we really? Have we really been waiting that long to see Sabretooth and Wolverine fight? And sure, yes, we would love to see
Where's somebody caged up at?
Fight. However, we know that this fight is probably going to end pretty quickly, with Wolverine being the winner. So would you really pump up a fight just to have it end in about 5 seconds? Would you say that people have been waiting decades to see that fight and have it just end so quickly? Probably not. It could be a Deadpool thing. It could be a little joke. People have been waiting so long, and hey, it only lasted 5 minutes. Or it could be about a fight that people have truly been waiting decades to see. A fight between Wolverine and the Hulk. So we did a video yesterday talking about this particular scene. We won't go over it entirely, but if you do look in the background of this scene when Wolverine goes to fight Sabretooth, you can see a figure that is captured in one of the cages. The Insider Cryptic HD quality has
that
pointed out that this is a big cameo, and we've also pointed out that Marvel Studios has already misled us in trailers for Deadpool and Wolverine. For example, they showed us a previous trailer that had Sabretooth in it, except they used CGI to cover him up and change him to where we couldn't tell that he was actually Sabretooth. We believe that something similar is happening with this scene with this person in the cage. Cryptic HD Quality points out that this is a big one. This is a big cameo. And we do know that Wolverine says, who's next? And this is obviously after he takes on Sabretooth. Well, perhaps the Hulk is next, because yesterday we talked about how the insider My Time to Shine Hello said that the Hulk was not in it. However, today she kind of took that back. She said, actually, never mind on that. Hulk's in it. Perhaps she got curious about this scene like the rest of us did and
Okie dokie.
Sources. Also, at the same time, Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus talked about Wolverine versus the Hulk and simply said, yes, these two face off in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's not going to go the way many of you think it will.
Hopefully it won't be something that's really cool and then there's no payoff. In other words, Thanos fighting the Hulk was incredible. His precision strikes, the slam, the shots, just everything was great. It showed how thorough Thanos is. But we never got the payoff in Endgame. We never got them versus each other. Again, we didn't get the rematch, which we should have gotten. So, well, let's see what they do.
I love how he gives an answer, but it's still a pretty cryptic answer. But we do get a confirmation on the question that everybody has been asking, is Hulk in the movie? In which Alex and now My Time to Shine Hello both say yes. And Alex particularly says that the Hulk and Wolverine are going to face off. So right away, I hope these reports are true, because I truly do want to get a Hulk and Wolverine face-off.
Man, the Wolverine, Hulk versus Wolverine that's drawn by Todd McFarlane, pure greatness. Pure greatness. Todd McFarlane, is probably my favorite comic book artist of all time. Him and Jim Lee, a few others there. But man, when that came out, and I'll never forget, I tried to order it, but I had an older comic book. Before you had to clip this stuff out, and you had to fill the order form out and send stuff in. You didn't have the internet to do it. So I did, and they sent me a letter back, and they were like, "We're sorry, but this comic book has increased in price, and this, and because I was going to order it for like $5 or whatever, you know what I mean, or $2 or $3, whatever it was. But by that time, it had exponentially increased in price because it was such a popular issue. So, yeah."
And like I've been saying, Ryan Reynolds, when he was doing the movie, The Atom Project, that's when he was really thinking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, he was really just thinking about Deadpool 3 at the time, but that's where he asked Sean Levy if he would like to do it, and he said yes. And they already did a big article on this, basically telling us that, yeah, they talked about Deadpool and Wolverine on the set of The Atom Project. Well, guess who was on the set of The Atom Project, because he is one of the main characters? Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk. And I've talked about this a few times. I'm sure people remember the Deadpool and the Hulk Easter eggs that they put in the movie. And you're telling me if Mark Ruffalo is on the set of The Atom Project and Sean Levy has already agreed to direct the next Deadpool movie, and you have Deadpool himself, Ryan Reynolds, interacting with Mark Ruffalo, they definitely talked about the movie. And here's the kicker. Mark Ruffalo has stated publicly plenty of times in panels that he has talked to Kevin Feige about the future of the Hulk, that he himself has pitched ideas to Kevin Feige about what he would want to see in the future, and he straight up says one of those ideas, one thing that he would love to see is Hulk versus Wolverine. And it looks like his buddy from the Atom Project, and just his buddy in general, can make that happen in Deadpool and Wolverine. So
now, you guys haven't seen that comic book that Todd McFarlane drew. I mean, in it, he slices and dices the Hulk. I think he almost kills him, like he's bleeding so much. It's like crazy.
why would Mark Ruffalo say no? And Ryan Reynolds is giving us some fan service, and according to some insiders, it's for a very specific purpose. I'm sure a part of it is for, giving the fans some really cool cameos, giving them some really cool scenes, giving us scenes that we've wanted to see for a while, like Hulk vs. Wolverine. But according to the insider Cryptic HD Quality, the fan service is for a very specific purpose in Deadpool and Wolverine. And yes, it's fan service, but they're using it very intentionally. So everything really does seem to point to the fact that the Hulk will show up in Deadpool and Wolverine and will fight Wolverine. However, could it be this specific scene right here? It very well could be. In fact, this person that is caged up in the back could very well be the Hulk. And the Hulk might actually be the person who defeats Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's why they end up getting captured. Because it does seem like Deadpool and Wolverine kind of have the upper hand on Cassandra Nova's people in this scene right here. Like, we know that Wolverine is going to defeat Sabretooth, and probably the two of them together could defeat anybody else that's there. So perhaps maybe they release the Hulk on them, and the Hulk ends up fighting Wolverine and Deadpool as well, and he's the one who beats them on them, and the Hulk together could defeat anybody else that's there. So perhaps maybe Sabretooth and probably the two of them together right here. Like, we know that Wolverine is going to defeat Sabretooth.
You know what I think would have been cool? It looks like he kind of did it with the second one, is when he pulled out the sword, he, did the whole flick of the wrist thing with a, throw off the blood like samurais do. The second time, when he pulls this one out, it kind of looks like the force of it, got the blood off. But I thought that would have been pretty cool if he did that.
Probably the two of them together could defeat anybody else.
See that?
There.
He
so
he did it. You know what I mean?
The Hulk on
with the first one, he didn't do it with
Wolverine and Deadpool as well, and he's the one who beats them, and that is why they get captured. And maybe this is the fight that people have been waiting decades to see. That would make a lot of sense. However, we do have to address the second part of Alex Perez's report that states it's not going to go the way many of you think it will. Now, that can mean
I don't even know which way it's going to go.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but perhaps it's not Mark Ruffalo's Hulk.
I guess maybe they think that Wolverine would win the fight. Maybe Hulk's going to win. And right, it could be a variant. But they said go the way you think it's going to go. With saying that, it sounds like it's the outcome rather than which Hulk. Because they could definitely bring back Fight Club for the Hulk, or they could, use that other guy from the first Hulk movie. Maybe they'll actually use Lou Ferrigno. Who knows? Have him be an older Hulk. You never know.
Perhaps it could be Eric Bana's Hulk. Many people have actually been predicting this because right now Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is Professor Hulk and he's not really hulked out. But
there
Eric Bana's Hulk was. And we know that there are going to be many variants in
Todd
Deadpool.
McFarlane.
And that's a good opportunity for Deadpool to make a joke. Hey, wait a second. that's not Mark Ruffalo. He can even say something like, it's actually worse that it's not Mark Ruffalo because Mark Ruffalo right now is a wimp. Professor Hulk isn't that strong. This Hulk is strong. Or, and this is what I would kind of prefer, we do get Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, but it's a variant of him that is still super hulked out. Insane rage, just super powerful, can't be stopped. And that's the fight we get. We get the fight between the best version of the Hulk we could get.
If you have not seen this, watch it. If you're a Marvel fan, if you're a Wolverine fan, Hulk fan, a Deadpool fan, Deadpool is in this and he's hilarious. Please watch it. Please.
And Wolverine, because we don't really want to see Professor Hulk fight Wolverine. That's not what everybody's been waiting for. We need the full, enraged, just super angry, insane Hulk. That's the fight we want. Now, it going the way that we might not think it's going to go could also mean that somehow Cassandra Nova's people might actually control the Hulk in a certain way. If they did capture him, they probably do have some devices or technology of some type that might allow them to control them. If we think back to Deadpool 2, we know that there are devices that keep people's powers from working. Cassandra Nova could definitely be using those collars. We also recently saw them in X-Men 97. So they very well could play a pretty big important role in Deadpool and Wolverine, especially if you're going to capture somebody like the Hulk. In fact, maybe that's why this person in the back seems pretty small. However, the Hulk isn't a mutant, but perhaps the technology still restricts his powers, and perhaps that's why it's not exactly as we think it's going to be. Maybe Cassandra Nova's people are controlling him. Again, it could be literally anything. But regardless, the most important part is that it seems like the Hulk and Wolverine are going to have a face-off against each other in Deadpool and Wolverine. Hopefully, they do it justice, knowing Ryan Reynolds, knowing Hugh Jackman. Yes, they will. So I'm not too concerned about that statement. It's not going to go the way we think it will. As long as we get a killer
I feel that every time. I'm like,
But go ahead. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you
Three prongs to the
tank? Are you
tank.
excited for this? And what do you think Alex Perez means when he says it's not going to go the way we think?
I think that the fight is not what we think it's going to be. Maybe someone jumps in, maybe someone stops it, maybe we all think, well, Wolverine's probably going to win, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe, the Hulk wins. I guess it could be that, as far as it not being the Hulk that you think it's going to be. But I think that they would have phrased it differently if you're going to say that. Not going to go the way. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be. Maybe that would, be like, oh, maybe it's a different Hulk. Maybe it's, Anyway, get over to Cosmic Wonder and subscribe. Tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you. He's almost at 1 million subscribers. Good job, man. Good job. 10 million subscribers. Woo!